it's Tracey and Violet. Well, she just went downstairs from tea time with Tracey and Violet, and we're in my haunted attic. Yes, I've been working up here all day today trying to sort stuff away. There's a shelf over there that it's not technically a bookshelf, but I'm Jimmy rigging it to make it work because it was better than having books all over the floor, if you know what I'm saying. So, anyways, I have a pot of tea here today. I have a couple of books to talk to you about. I don't know if this is great lighting. Like, there's a light bulb right there. I don't know. Am I washed out? I kind of am, but I don't know. I gotta get you a little closer. Is that better? Well, it's gonna have to do. It's one of those days. It is Monday. It's natal day here in Nova Scotia. I don't know if that's everywhere's. It's a civic holiday, but yeah, I'm going to light a candle because I want some ambiance, and my invisible friends up here enjoy that element, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm not trying to freak you out, but might as well make a little ambiance. And one of my friends, oops, that one went out. One of my friends from my other YouTube channel, Nova Scotia Living, the link's below if you're interested. It's nothing fancy, but just me bumbling around doing my thing. Made this teacup. She made 2 of them actually. Teacup candle. Come on. Let's get this party started, shall we? All right. This candle for me. All right, crying out loud. There you go, folks. All right. They've been hounding me to do this, so there we go. And it smells good. But let me show you this girl right here. I can't remember if I've had her out with you guys or over on my other channel. I have umpteen teacups, and I love every single one of them. Fairies and witches live in them. That's what I like to think. And they have stories each and every one of them has to tell. So look at this beauty. This beauty. I should try to keep track of what girls can come out to visit you, but I'm not that organized of a person. So those yellow flowers, the gold down at the bottom, she might have been out, I don't know. Gold up at the top, and you can see down underneath there's like ribbons. I don't know the technical term, but yeah, she's beautiful. And then she has gold on this side and gold here, but she does not have any gold here. So yeah, and this is her skirt or her pedestal. Beautiful. You can see the gold edges around there. And this is bone china royal veil made in England, and then it has G576. So I'm not sure. Oh, I see you flickering. Yeah. Nice. And I'm still using my Nova Scotia, if you've watched the past couple of videos. I have quite a few teapots, but not as many teacups. Or I have more teacups than teapots, so these teapots are going to be out for a few times, and then I'll switch them up. But yeah, anyways, I am having Twinings, citrus, and ginger. When I first started this channel a couple weeks ago, I was drinking Senses lime and ginger, and I really liked it, and I can't get that here. But I can get lemon and ginger, and I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know if this is steeped enough. No. Oh, I can smell it. It smells like neocitrin. Yeah, we'll just wait a minute, but I'll show you the books I'm going to talk about. So, not this one. That's the one I just started. I'm going to be talking about Tillie again. I know I've reviewed a couple, not really reviewed, just talked about the books I've read. Sick Fox and The Scarred Soul, 2 books. I do have the other 2 books in that series, which I didn't know that there were some. They're not here yet, though, and I plan on reading those. But this one of you guys recommended Tillie Cole's Dark Virtues novels. So I've read the first two, and I have the second one here. Here comes Violet. That I'm just going to start today. So yeah, haven't done that one yet, but this is like novella, like the prequel to this. So I read this one lickety split. I certainly did. I couldn't get enough of it. Just in regards to her, Tillie does dark, okay? And right now I'm on a dark kick, dark taboo romance kind of thing, and that's what I'm reading these days. So let me kind of break this down. All right, so this happened 10 years prior. So the people that are in book 1 and 2, they're adults now. This is when they're children. So I went into this novel not knowing anything about it. I kind of thought it might have been paranormal, like just by the cover of it, but it's not. It has to do with religion, kind of. It starts off with these two boys, Joseph and James. Is that what his name was in the beginning? Yeah, Joseph and James. Joseph is older than James, but they're brothers, and they had something tragic happened to them, and they ended up in this house for orphaned children. Holy, oh, for goodness sakes, Tracey, you just should have. It has a name. It has to do with the Catholic Church, and they take in wayward children, orphaned children, and yeah. So, Holy Innocents Home for Children. That's what it's called. Holy Innocents Home for Children. So, when these boys went to this church children's home, I forget how old they were in the beginning, but in the beginning of the book, they were around 10 and 8 or something. I don't recall if it says the age. Maybe a little bit older. Yeah, I think a little bit older. Yeah, absolutely. 15 and 12. I'm holding it upside down. And it's kind of like, it's just like a Catholic church. They're raised up in the church and very religious and things like this. And in my mind, I envision this giant church, dark, not dank, but dark, and not like a cozy place. It breaks on the scene when James, the youngest brother, is pretty much torturing another boy. He did a little flashback, and he has always been enthralled with blood and had a hard time containing himself. So this boy that he was doing some things to, this happens right at the beginning, the get-go, right out the gate. He was a bully to James, like a big bully. So he took it upon himself to get revenge. And Joseph is there trying to convince him to stop. But Joseph wakes up in bed, and he's tied to the bed. This is very dark, guys, okay? Joseph is tied to the bed. His brother is there. This other boy's tied in a chair, being sliced and diced and bleeding out everywhere. And Joseph is trying to struggle to get out of the bed to stop his brother from doing this. But he can't. He's tied. And Joseph, it seems to be the only one that can kind of calm his brother down, but his brother tied him to the bed because he didn't want to be stopped, because this son of a gun bully was, teasing him. And eventually the head priest, whatever, I forget the names of the titles, but I am not Catholic, I don't know, but comes in along with another person, breaks the boys up. Joseph is freaking out because he doesn't want his brother to be taken away, because his brother doesn't sleep. He can't do anything without his brother. Like, his brother's not going to survive. Where is he going to go? Is he going to go to jail? What's going to happen with him? Oh, that's good. That's good. I enjoy that. I should have let it steep a little longer, but it's good. It's nice and warm. It's raining outside. I don't know if you can hear or not. Anyways, Father Quinn, who's the head honcho, assures Joseph he's going to be in isolation till he is dealt with. This is not a police matter. This is a church matter. And Joseph finally, okay, all right. Yeah, so I think a couple months go by and his brother's not back yet. One of the other boys in this home says that there's a legend, or there's rumor of this place called Purgatory. Now, not the purgatory, but where really nasty or hard to handle children go, but they never return. So Joseph is freaking out because he has no other family except his brother, and he doesn't have his brother. So he, fast forwards, finds out this place is the real deal. It's down underground on the property. This happens in Boston, on the outskirts of Boston too, just a heads up about that. It's down underground, and Joseph isn't allowed. Like, the priests get upset if he asks about his brother. So his only way to get to see his brother is to become a hard-to-handle child himself, so he can get sent there so he can be with his brother, because he doesn't want to be without his brother. And now Joseph, he is very much into the church. He plans on growing up and being a priest. He takes it 100% seriously. So this is very difficult for him to do. So he has to do something so heinous. So he is taken away to purgatory. So something happens. He eventually gets there. And it's out of this world. It really is. This purgatory is like a dungeon. He's thrown into this room, and there's six boys. And it's in complete darkness. There's no light whatsoever. Complete darkness. And his brother is there. Now, his brother isn't speaking, isn't doing anything. And all of these boys were sent there for one reason or another. Something terrible that they did. They were just little boys, though. Some of them have been there for years. Some of them, not as long. But, yeah. And there was no chance of them getting out. The priest would say that they are demons. They are demons, and they need to exorcise these demons. And by exorcise these demons, horrible things are done to them. These priests at this church are part of a sect, a separate sect from the Catholic Church. So they're Catholic, but it's a private sect, an underground sect dating back to the Spanish Inquisition. And there's torture devices down there. Hardcore medieval kind of torture devices that are used on these boys. No love, no nothing. They're only fed sporadically, so they're thin little boys. And whenever a boy gets sent to purgatory, their name is changed. So Joseph is now named Gabriel. James was named Michael. There's another one, Raphael. They're all of names of saints. Like there's 7 sinners. You know what I mean? Like they all changed their name, and that name is drilled into them so far that they don't forget, but they don't respond to their original name. Oh, it's horrible. I don't want to give it all away because just that little bit, that sounds horrible, doesn't it? But these boys are tortured physically, sexually. I was floored. I really was. Like, I was like, oh my goodness, you know, I can't believe this. This is horrible. I know it's a story, but it was like, wow, I can't believe I'm reading this right now. Oh, Tillie. I'm not laughing because it was funny. It was not. The stuff that these boys had to go through, nobody ever, never, ever, never, ever, ever should go to. So these priests call themselves the brethren. The brethren. And there's other priests that are in purgatory that used to be the boys that were brought there in purgatory that cleansed their demons. And now they're the abusers abusing these boys. Michael, James, or Gabriel. Well, Joseph and James, Gabriel and Michael, and the other ones. Now, these boys forge a bond, like a family bond. And they're down in this purgatory for years. I think three years before something happens and one of them gets away. One of them gets away. And that's all I'll say about this. Trigger warnings for sure. For sure. There's gore in this. There's 100%, 150% abuse. Terrible, terrible abuse. And just in regards to Tillie's writing style, she's becoming one of my favorites. Like, I want to read every single book that she has. She builds such a world that you can see this all happening. Like, see the world, like the buildings. You can smell the air. You can hear the sounds of people walking. At least I can. And if she can do that with the environment of the place, she can make you hear the screams of these poor boys. And it just I really enjoyed this book in the sense it's extremely dark, is all I'll say. I am so glad that I was introduced to this series, just because I would never want this to happen to anybody at all, but it has totally brought me into this world of crazy, and it does get me twisted up in knots in a way that most books can't, you know. So, fast forward 10 years. Now, all those boys were around the same age. 10 years. Now, they're adults. They're not in this place anymore, and I'm not going to tell you how or where or anything like that. But they are 100% scarred from their time in purgatory. Not only that, their childhood before they even went to this home for boys. So, I'll say money is no expense. They have grown up big and strong, and they have these urges. They have these urges. So now I'm into Raphael's story. He was one of the boys there. Now, Raphael, well, I didn't even read the backs of these books. I'll do this quick because I could talk all day about the books that I read, but in the beginning, this is for the prequel. In the beginning, they told them they were evil. They told them they were possessed by demons. They told them that the darkness ran in their veins. Holy Innocents' Home for Children is a haven for orphan boys who have nothing and no one. The priests watch over them, educate them, and raise them in the family of the church, except for some. 7 of the orphans are no ordinary boys. They attract the attention of the priests for their acts of violence or bloodlust. The priests realize these boys are drawn to the darkness, and the priests are no ordinary priests. They are the brethren, the secret sect who believe themselves on the divine mission to seek out evil in the boys in their care. Seek it out, then drive it out. The 7 have fallen from God's grace, and the brethren will cleanse their blackened souls. So, the pack of this one, they are the fallen, a brotherhood of murderers whose nature compels them to kill, which they do. They have the urge to kill. But guided by their leader, Gabriel, the fallen, that's what they call themselves, the fallen, have learned to use their urges to rid the world of those better off without. For Raphael, sex and death are intertwined. Where there is one, there must be another. He is a lust killer, luring his victims with the face of an angel and a body built for sin. And Raphael lives to sin. His newest mission takes him to a sadistic world in Boston's secret sex club and puts him face to face with his greatest fantasy made flesh. Maria is everything he ever dreamed of, the kill he always longed for. She's not his target, and he must resist, but the temptation is too strong. Yet Raphael is not the only one on a mission. Maria is not quite what she seems. As her secrets and Raphael's unravel, Maria begins to question everything she thought she knew. About evil, about the place she calls home, about the beautiful sinner she was sent to destroy. So, yeah. So these boys, now men, all live together in this giant fortress mansion thing. And they have these urges. Each of them have a different thing. Raphael, he likes to strangle. He always has a string around his finger and untwines it till his finger turns like he always has a compulsion to strangle. And the way they organized themselves was to kill people that the world would be better off with. For example, a sex trafficker, So they all take turns going to do this on a fairly regular basis. They do develop rules. They have like 10 commandments, and they're listed in the beginning, but basically is you don't kill innocents, you don't bring anybody to our house, you don't do this or that. So they will be safe, and innocent people would be safe. Doesn't sound too bad in the fictional world, right? Get rid of some bad people in this world. So Raphael, it was his turn to go, and he was going for the sex trafficker, and she was frequenting this sex club. And he goes, and he finds her, and people from the brethren didn't know these boys were still in the area. One of the brethren were there to try to rid people of sin, aka take them and shank them and kill them and burn them. But he gets wind, or he sees this Raphael in the club, and he's like, oh my God, the demons are still here. They're still here. Like, they believe that they're demons. They're here. We gotta rid them. Well, I can't say they truly believe they're demons, but they're 6 sons of bees is all I'm saying. Everybody in this book is a 6th son of the bee, I guess, but anyways, so this brethren goes back to talk to this Father Quinn, who was from way back in their childhood, and they make a plan to go back to this sex club to try to ensnare him with somebody in their fold. Now, women are not allowed in the brethren, but there is this young lady named Maria who is about to swear in, take her vows as a nun, and she's just young, like she's 21, who had a horrible thing happen to her when she was younger. She doesn't have any family left. She has been tortured, and she turned to the church. She was never religious, but she she couldn't. But she's young, she's beautiful, she's scared, and she's timid, and she's meek. But they convince her to go to this sex club, and she is a rattling bag of bones, nervous. But she goes, and he zeroes in on her. Now, she is not his target, like it says on the back of the book. And his greatest fantasy is to find the one. And he thinks that she's the one. And his fantasy is to make her feel that she needs him so much. He ravishes her, and she's willingly going to him. Like, this is his fantasy. She has long hair because he would wrap her hair around her neck and strangle her while they were doing the do. And she would die while she was having sex. And this is just a fantasy, okay? What? There's a lot of stuff in this book, and you get to know all of these. I want to keep calling them boys, but you get to know these men, and they all have their own hiccup, light way of putting it, okay? All of them except Gabriel. He is not a killer at all. He's not. But he forms such a bond with these men that they're his family, and he's doing the only thing he knows how. He can't stop their compulsions, you know. So this is what they're doing to rid the world of bad people and curb their need. But the rules need to be followed. And there's so much more I want to talk about this book, but I don't want to spoil the complete story. I probably said more stuff than you needed to hear, but oh, there's so much. There's so much. I am going to dig right into that second book. There's only these books in the series. I don't know if it's going to end off like there's going to be more, because that's just 2 of the guys. There's 7 of them. So is there going to be more books? I don't know. I hope so, because yeah, I would absolutely recommend this if you are into dark romance. And it doesn't really sound like a romance novel, right? But when Raphael zeroes in on Maria, he can't even focus on the target that he was supposed to go and take care of. He zeroes in on her, and that's where their paths lead. So yeah, trigger warnings for sure for this too. Violence, captor, captive. Yeah. So anyways, I look forward to reading that second book. And the satisfaction of people getting their revenge. You can almost feel it, because yeah, this brethren, the worst people in the world. The worst people in the world, I think. They think they're being righteous, or they're feeding each other this nonsense to justify the abuse that they inflict on not only these guys, people that are still in their care. Now, the kids that don't do extreme things, they still live in this home and do their daily thing. But yeah, not acceptable behavior. Not. But the book was fantastic if you're into that kind of genre. Now, I like books. I like all books. I like really all books. Right now, I'm on this kick. And the darker, the taboo-ish. I haven't come across one that's really maybe like... There's ones that I'm like, you get a little bit of an ick factor for one little thing or another. This is not a light read. This is not whatever. But I'm going to read it, and I'm glad I read it. I'm glad I own it. And I look forward to more of Tillie's stuff, honestly. But I'm going to end this now. I don't know where Violet is. Oh, she's over there laying on the floor. For those that are new, I don't know if you've seen her walk by. She's my beautiful puff ball of a standard poodle. Violet. Anastasia Beaverhausen is her name. So, do you guys know who Anastasia Beaverhausen is? That's where I just thought it was funny because the person who played Anastasia Beaverhausen's hilarious. Anyways, I'm going to end this now. And my candle simmered down. It was flickering there. What? All right, I'll be down in just a minute. But I want to say peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Oh, just a minute. No, Mish. This is not my other channel. So this is not a kid channel. Skedaddle. Skedeedle. Skedaddle. Awesome Pfeffer Incorporated. Yeah. These kind of chats are grown folks chats, right? I can't talk about this stuff with my kids around, so. Anyways, I forget what I said. Peace, love, and happiness today and every single day. Please like, share, and subscribe if you so choose. But if not, that's okay. I still love ya. I still want all the happiness in the world for each and every single one of you out there. I certainly do. And I just want to say, happy reading. And be proud of what you read. Don't be ashamed of what you read. And even if it's a sentence or a paragraph or a page or a chapter or a whole book, reading is reading. And reading makes me happy. I hope it makes you happy too. So anyways, with that, I'm going to say have a good night or have a good morning. And I might see you tomorrow. Bye. Bloop.